Hello there, today I'm going to be going through my personal statement, which got me 4 offers in 3 months, I believe, and 2 Cambridge interviews. Of course, your application is not only based on your personal statement, so for some background information, I achieved all grade 9s at GCSE, I was predicted all A stars, and I sat an AS further maths paper and A-level music paper where I got a grade A. Then you also have your teacher reference, and I don't have access to that, so yeah, I'll be going through my personal statement. I applied for computer science, so that also meant that I did have to do some entrance exams. So I'll be going through my personal statement and also be analysing it, so I can tell you what I think probably worked. And of course, not all unis require interviews, so they will do it based on your personal statement, and that's where you can show what your true passion is and how you went about it, so what supercurricular activities that you did. So first of all, you want to start off really punchy, English language, grab the reader's attention kind of thing. So I went with 800 years ago, artificial intelligence was not considered a threat. 80 years ago, College and Pitts published the first mathematical model of a neural network. 8 years old was the age I purchased my first electronic device. 8 years later, I built my own computer. So I used 800, 80, 8, 8. There is some story behind it. 8 is my favorite number. I did look up major events in computer science based on AI that happened a while ago because I knew I wanted to use the number 8. Also 8 bits in a byte, so I thought it was very linked to computer science. My personal statement was added to my profile in 2023, so it was 80 years from 2023. It's now 2024, but in the time that it was referenced, it's right. I would plan your first line last because that's the hardest thing to get right, the punchline. I think I did that last as well. So I think it's quite creative. It's a creative way to show your reader or the entrance admissions person, a glimpse of your personality, I guess, and get them intrigued into your personal statement because they're going to be reading thousands of these and you want yours to stand out. So get a great punchline. The first paragraph I wrote about how I got into computer science. So my computer science journey began in primary school at Scratch Club, where I was first exposed to programming. The joy of executing calculated code and loading intended results was so satisfying. In secondary school, I joined STEM Club, which introduced me to robotics. I loved designing, building, and coding Lego robots for the EEP robotics competition. For the challenge mat, I built a specialized robot to collect items from different locations. My coding skills progressed from trial and error to comprehension, and I discovered my passion for coding. Nothing really special about the first paragraph. Had to keep it short and concise because of the character limit. Overall, my whole personal statement is 3,915 characters, so it's below the 4,000 character limit. Yeah, nothing really stands out. It's all truthful. I did start it in Scratch Club, coding with those little boxes. That was kind of fun. And then joined STEM Club and EEP robotics competition. Although when I first started it, I didn't know how to code. So I was, like I said, from trial and error. I was just doing some random things and it somehow... Actually, I was not the coder. The next year, the coder was not in our team anymore. So someone had to code and that ended up being me. And I guess I figured it out and then I actually started liking doing it. I'm glad I did that because now I'm in computer science. And basically I'm emphasizing my passion for coding, showing it where it was first sparked. Alright, the next paragraph is about one of the supercurricular activities that I did. This I did in year 11. I wrote this essay for the sustainability essay competition. Let me read through it first and then I'll talk about it. My winning entry to the Bright Futures Awards Sustainability Essay Competition, wow, long title, discussed the future of video gaming, focusing on the potential use of AI to create video games and enhance VR characters to become more realistic. I suggested social and environmental responsibilities that gaming companies should have, including the need to improve diversity, equality, and inclusivity. Oh, we got there. I stressed how simply portraying issues in video games is not enough. We need more interactive games like Pokemon Go, which reward you for acting on climate change. So this is all about what I did in year 11. It was just this random essay competition that happened in our school. And at first I was like, is this really relevant to me? And then it was about video games. I was like, okay, I guess I am kind of interested in video games. So why not? just take the opportunities that are given to you. So you never know. I didn't expect to win the competition. You should say what you talked about in the essay or whatever supercurricular activity that you did. So I suggested social and environmental responsibilities that they have. And then I actually said what I actually think they should do. So I used a triplet: diversity, equality, and that word. And then also how you can take action from it. Like, you can't just talk about something, you need to do something to prove that you understand what you're doing. Because you can say, yeah, I understand what I did there, I talked about this and that and that. But if you don't actually understand it, you can't apply it. You need to show that you fully understand it and that you can apply it by going further to say how you do what you do, if that makes sense. Okay, my next paragraph is solely on my main interest, which is AI. My interest in AI led me to research ChatGPT and subsequently neural networks and machine learning. I've enjoyed reading articles and books about AI, such as Possible Minds, 25 Ways of Looking at AI by John Brockman. This book opened my eyes to the past, present, and future perspectives of AI, and introduced me to computer scientists like Julia Pearl and its Bayesian networks. These networks analyze known causes and suggest which was the contributing factor. With the rise of AI, Bayesian networks are the future with increasing importance for AI transparency. I wanted to include some books or the fact that I know about what's going on in the real world, so like articles. When I say books, I mean singular book, because that's the only like AI one that I read. Not because I don't like reading it, it's just because I was so busy because I was doing 5 A-levels at the time, so it was a lot to juggle. When I wrote this personal statement, I had read like the first 3 chapters. I didn't want to write all about the first chapter because that would be too obvious that I hadn't finished reading it, but my plan was that before the interview I would have finished reading all of it. It was just that I was pushed for time, so I didn't technically lie, but I didn't technically say the whole truth. And also, if they interview you, or you know you're going to be interviewed, try and write a book that you actually have finished reading, or have finished reading by the time that you've got the interview, because like it's going to be obvious if you don't know what they're talking about. If they've read the book that you've read and you don't know the questions that they're asking you, it's not going to be great. It's going to make you look like you just wanted to write down the book, because you did. I didn't really know what to say about what I learned from the book. Don't just write that you've read a book. You need to say what you've learned from it. And also you need to define what your technical words are, like Bayesian networks. I needed to say what they do, because like St. Andrews, for example, they don't have a specific department looking at your personal statement. It's like a general admissions tutor. So they're not going to be specialists in your subject. They're going to need to know what you're talking about. And I don't think they're going to go off to the side, research it and come back. They probably don't have time to do that. If you're using technical words, try and define them. Like I even put AI in brackets just so I could refer to it as AI and they know that it's artificial intelligence. I know that's obvious to us, but for formality we need to do that. Next, I've got work experience. If you do medicine, dentistry, or anything in the medical field, you have to have work experience, I'm pretty sure, because of how competitive it is. For computer science and other subjects, maybe not so much, but if you do have it, it helps. So I wrote, furthermore, during my work experience at Cartesian, a telecommunications company, so I'm telling you what the company does, I successfully delivered a presentation about machine learning tools on Amazon Web Services and learned about cloud and edge computing. Okay, I think I could have maybe elaborated on that a little bit more. Their major projects tackling global issues like the digital divide inspired me, and the idea of contributing to this field's future development excites me. I'm just giving hints of passion, throughout my statement. Not much really to be said here. That was just my work experience and I think it was useful to add in. Now I'm talking more about collaboration because I want to show that I'm a team player and I can work with other people. So with 2 friends, I entered Cambridge's Davison Inventors Challenge. Now, if you know the Tamra and Inventors Challenge, it's a chemical engineering competition. And I don't do chemistry. I'm not going into chemical engineering. It's not really relevant to me. And actually, my 2 friends who did it, only one of them is doing going for medicine. This is chemistry. The other one is doing classics, so it's completely different, but we still entered it because we had a good idea. We didn't have a teacher leading this, it was all us independently, and we would do it at lunchtime. Our project, called Vaccimize, aimed to achieve vaccine equity by developing a medical database system focusing on the United Nations Good Health and Wellbeing Sustainability Goal. I contributed a graphical user interface, database, using Python and Tkinter. So I put graphical user interface, not instead of GUI, because maybe the admissions tutor doesn't know what a GUI is. Working in a team developed my communication and leadership skills, and we achieved a respectable score of 9 out of 10 in every section. That was pretty good considering that we had no teacher like helping us write it. We were all doing it by ourselves. It only linked all of our subjects because vaccine equity, so that's the medicine aspect of it, making a database system, that was my link to it, and then using the United Nations because my classics friend does MUN. We didn't have the whole group having technical knowledge about chemistry. We didn't expect to win or anything, but we got a good score, so we're happy. And so I included it in my personal statement. I'm not sure if my friends included it. It wasn't really that relevant to their personal statement, so you can't talk about everything on your personal statement. There's just not enough characters. Like, I had to cut a lot out and make it into these little short paragraph things. Anyway, I've got another competition where I did another similar thing. The medicine tech combination inspired me to enter Cambridge's Keys Explore competition. The goal was to digitalize and integrate an everyday object into the Internet of Things, IoT. So I only put in brackets the shorthand things I want to refer to later. Like, I didn't put GUI for graphical user interface because I'm not using that word again in my personal statement, so why would I waste the characters? This was my very unique idea, and it was risky posting this to the competition because I wasn't sure how people would react. You'll see what I mean. Exploring the problem of COVID test shortages, I developed the concept of a reusable tissue called smart tissue, which detects illnesses including contagious diseases. So I made a smart tissue. I don't think anything else needs to be said. Well, the goal was to digitalize and integrate an everyday object into the Internet of Things. And I was looking at my desk. I was like, well, there's a smart fridge. There's a smart wardrobe already. Well, I mean, I had an idea of a smart wardrobe, but like, I'm pretty sure you could do that already. You've got like a smart notebook, I'm pretty sure. All of these things that have like been invented or had the ideas of before. I was like, what could be really unique? What could be out there that no one else would think of? And I looked and I saw a tissue. I was like, can I digitalize a tissue? First I had to research it and see if there's any reusable tissues or anything. And there were. So I was like, wait, this could actually work. And then I was like, wait a minute, COVID test shortages, COVID tests. What if when you sneeze, it like detects what disease you have, and it can like link to an app because of the Internet of Things. Sorry if you don't know computer science, but also Internet of Things just means linking devices together. Smart tissue could link it with a smartwatch/phone app to monitor vitals and track the user's location, warning users in proximity if they have been infected. I thought that was pretty creative. And actually, fun fact, when I was writing this essay for the competition, well, it was like a report. I was on holiday. It was due after summer. I was in Florida Disneyland, and while I was waiting for the rides, I literally just got my phone and started writing up the report. And I almost missed the deadline because of the time difference. And I actually got recognized for it. So considering various privacy and security issues, I was thrilled to be invited to Keys College to discuss my idea further. So it paid off, and my feedback actually was the professor guy who read it was like, I would have never thought of a smart tissue. It was such a unique idea, and that's what I was going for. So maybe people reading my personal statement were like, oh, that's weird, and then they read what it's actually about. Oh, that's cool. So maybe try and stand out in your personal statement. I did talk a lot about Cambridge. Was I only planning to go to Cambridge? No. I knew that there was going to be a very hard chance of getting in, but I did use a lot of their super curricular activities because they have so many, because Cambridge want to have more outreach. So they have loads of competitions and activities. And to be honest, those were the only competitions that I found relevant to computer science. There weren't really many computer science specific things. There were lots of STEM general things. I also used it because if you're recognised by Cambridge, you're also academically recognised, I guess. So even though I was applying to Imperial, St Andrews, Warwick and Manchester, as well as Cambridge, I didn't solely say, oh, I love Cambridge. This is why I applied to this competition, because I want to go to Keys College. I love it so much. I didn't say that. I was just talking about my super curricular activity, and it just happened to be that a Cambridge college was hosting it. But I guess the prestigious name or whatever maybe helped. All right, and then this last paragraph was just stuff about me personally. It's not about computer science, because you want your whole personal statement to be like 80% your subject and then 20%, or even less, 90% your subject and 10% anything personal or personal achievements that you want to mention. So, taking GCSE and A-level music a year early, I attend the Centre for Young Musicians, where I received the Jack Petchey Award for exceeding expectations. With 5 A-levels and a Saturday music school, I demonstrate strong time management skills and have presented assemblies on my work-life balance. I aspire to be part of the ongoing development of technology, and I love volunteering at the Year 7 Computing Club, spreading the joy of coding. I aim to inspire just as my computing teacher inspired me. Oh, so you've also got a nice little ending there. I aim to inspire just as my computing teacher inspired me, and that's completely true. My computing teacher's passion, shout out Mr. Adai if you're there, was probably the reason why I chose computer science. I almost chose to do a T-level, but I can't remember why we didn't end up doing it. Within your subject, there's so many different paths. Like, I could have done degree apprenticeships, and then there's uni, and then T-levels, like going straight into industry. So he really inspired me to take the uni route. I did talk about music because that's one of my like strong hobbies. Before, in my first draft, I was also talking about my running, because I used to run competitively. I also talked about having like a YouTube channel and TikTok where I share my study tips, but I didn't have space to include that in my personal statement. And it kind of interrupted the flow. So here I'm talking about something irrelevant, so music. I tie that into computer science by talking about my skills, taking music A-level and GCSE early. I also go to a Saturday music school that's also on top of my schedule. And then I talk about how I demonstrate strong time management skills by doing all of these things, whilst also, doing all my schoolwork and my A-levels that are relevant to computer science, so maths, further maths, computer science and physics. And then I also talked about volunteering, so stuff that you do in your free time, because that's what shows your true passion. If you're doing it in your free time, you must love doing it. And it's almost like a cyclic structure, because I said spreading the joy of coding, just like at the beginning I said my passion for coding or something like that. Then I talked about my aims and the thing I aspire to be part of the ongoing development of technology. Of course, I did volunteer at the computing club. I also helped with GCSE coursework and a little bit of A-level coursework. You don't have space to put every single detail. And if you do have space to put every single detail, maybe you're not doing enough, or you're not writing about the things in detail. You should focus on, how many things did I focus on? I focused on about 4 computer science things, and then I wrote about work experience, skills that I have, volunteering, extracurricular stuff. So supercurricular is extracurricular but for academics, and then extracurricular is just what you do that's not relevant to your studies. I didn't have to say communication skills because it's obvious. If I've presented assemblies, then I've been working on my speech skills, I guess, communication, presentation. If you do have like a YouTube channel or something, you can't tag it in. Like I can't put like at Tamra tips. I did that in one of my drafts, and I was in this Cambridge outreach group, and when I gave it in for feedback, they said that you shouldn't put your tag name, and I ended up taking the whole thing out anyway in my final draft. If you're, trying to reference a piece of work that you did, don't put the URL. I know that some admissions tutors print out all of the personal statements and they read it from there, especially if they're doing it by department. So if you give them a URL and they print it out, what are they going to do with that? They're going to click the paper. I wanted to attach my code for the competition stuff. You can't do that. There's no space. You want it to be concise, but you also want it to be implied that there's more to talk about. When I was talking about the essay competition, I stressed how that, when I say stressed, like that's not the only thing I talked about. So my final thoughts for personal statements is be yourself, don't lie, be unique, try and be unique in a way that helps your personal statement. Don't be unique like, I have 6 fingers. That's not relevant to your subject, is it? Show your skills implicitly, don't always explicitly say stuff. I know that's hard to do. Try and think about if you can rephrase a certain sentence. Starting off, I think I had about 4,800 characters or even 5,000 characters. So don't worry if you're way off, and then you start trimming things down. When you write your first paragraph, open liner, look at your favorite book maybe, Maybe it's got like a first line that was really interesting. You can also look at personal statement sentence starters, I guess. Hope this video was useful. I hope it's given you some ideas on what maybe admissions students are looking for. Also, I hope it helps with your personal statement to give you some ideas of what you could write about. If you like this video, do leave a like, comment. If you need any help with your personal statement or any ideas, comment below and maybe I'll get back to you. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!